ñu ngi nii tey ak Yawou Diaal ak
Sam Fall.
I want you to present yourself but anyway no problem so yow tey da nga ñëw ak sa adversaire biir CNG bi nii yow wax ma nu mu demee ba nga am adversaire américain ba nga ñëw ak moom quoi lan moo waral seen teewaay fii tey.
waaw laa ilaaha illallaah Muhammadu Rasulullaahi sallallaahu alayhi wa sallam ba ma santee sama ndeysaan sama baay sant sëñ Abdou Karim Mbacke borom ma xam xanaa roon na sama sëriñ Ablaye Wade di ziar Guya transport ak construction ndi ko maan bu góor gi asunda borom ndi ko maan di ziar monsieur le président Diakhar Diomaye Faye di ziar nag monsieur le président Malick Ngom ak monsieur le ministre mu desee madame le ministre des sports maa ngi koy sant bu baax di ko gërëm di sant nag Sam Fall mi maa ngi koy sant bu baax di ko gërëm ak si ñaan mi nga xam ne moom la àndal yow tamit maa ngi lay sant bu baax di la gërëm kii daaw dafay ñëw su combat wu Balla Gaye Boy Niang ma bëri daanu yéeg ko tribune xamante ak moom xam rek ba yàlla def mu bëgg a bëri ak man xamaa ma nag léegi amul problème ñu léegi ñu daal di ko démarché ba sa Fallou Ndiaye tam jàpp si affaire yi ba tey yàlla def maak moom ñu bëri yàlla def mu am si ma ndam bu mu amee si ma ndam nag mu yëkkati drapeau Amérique États-Unis jox ma ko ma yaakaar fa laa yem tamit mu yëkkati encore benn kaks boo xam ne nii waaw max boo xam ne lu yéeme la ndeysaan gis nga waaw mu daal li ma ko jox mu nekk lu rëy ñu ne déete waaye mu yëkkati benn corde boo xam ne pour Pikine mbooloo la xam nga mu yëkkati encore joxaal ma ko ñu ne déete waaye mu yaakaar fa laa yem tamit mu yëkkati ceinture boo xam ne ndey daanaka benn sëriñ ne moo ko jox sa États-Unis nga xam ne bon mu yëkkati ko joxaat ma ko xamul ni nekk na fair play boo xam ne réer si man lool sama carrière
dëgg la te
vraiment moom dama ko si sant bu baax di ko gërëm ndaxte Sam Fall def na tey si man loo xam ne nii du ma ne mbër mi su ko def si man waaye moom def na loo xam ne lu réy la si man de comme le président suma sëriñ Ablaye Wade ba ma recevoir woon yëkkati teraanga fax may ma ko kër tey noonu la yëkkati drapeau Amérique drapeau Amérique mu yëkkati jox la ko kooku xam nga tey bu ñu nee roi des arènes CNG moo ko accordé ñu ne déetawaay ñu ne ampleur am ñu ne déetawaay ñu ne presse am na man nag ñu ne déetawaay drapeau Amérique 52 pays de Amérique mu yëkkati jox ma ko yëkkati max yëkkati ceinture yëkkati corde pour Pikine mbooloo jox ma ko xa nekk na loo xam lu rëy la
kon yaa ngi drapeau 52 pays
waaw kii baaw xam nga sant yàlla la quoi
mais yaa moo garaaw
dafa yéeme c'est que moom loolu dafa yaakaar dafa tuuti mais lu rëy la si man te keroog bu président sama sëriñ Abdoulaye yëkkati kër jox ma HLM Fass may ma ko Sénégal yëpp yëg ko moom tamit lu mu yëkkati drapeau Amérique jox ma ko 52 pays yëkkati jox ma ko naa def tout Sénégal yëpp xam ne ni kat Sam Fall yëkkati na drapeau Amérique jox na ma ko ñu ne déedéet ñu ne fa la yem tamit mu yëkkati ceinture devant le président de CNG Malick Ngom jox ma ko kon boog sant yàlla bu baax maa ngi ko siy gërëm baax ma di ko gërëm
lu tax nga jël ko
non keroog mu bëree ba daan ñu continué di def animation ñu gis ma xool sedd si man ñu ne ko bëri man ko loolu amul problème moom tam mu xar si tànk tubéy mu tam mu xar sama tànk tubéy ba Fallou Ndiaye taxawal combat bi yàlla def mu am si man ndam xam nga daaw bu ma Gambie bi daanee dama yëkkati drapeau Gambie jox ko moom tam mu yëkkati ma Sénégal jox ma ko yaa ngi koy ka mu nekk maanaam dama yëkkati drapeau Sénégal solal ko Gambie bi moom mu yëkkati ma Gambie bi tamit jox ma ko mu nekk loo xam ne lu la fay play moom tamit nag ñëw tamit demul ñëw sama kër mu yëkkati ci trophée bi nga xam ne soin wu jee moom moo ko jox à parcelle damay bëri bàyyi ko numéro bu ma dokoree ko xam nga ñëpp di jaar marketing réew mi si man lool nag réew mi si man lool waaye moom tamit la ma jox moo gën a rëy
dëgg la
ndax loolu dañu drapeau dëkk drapeau Amérique
52 pays
Sam Fall ñëpp jox ma ko c'est grave ça pour toi mais nii damay ñaan yàlla sama sëriñ Abdoulaye Wade bu ñëwee dama koy dem joxe
inchallah
pour dina Diakhar Diomaye Faye ñaan naa yàlla tamit mu recevoir ma mu premier ministre Sonko ministre Sonko mu recevoir mu yëkkati drapeau bi dem jébbal leen ko ndaxte xam nga barke démb moom yaay le champion du monde ñëw rek mu recevoir ko teral ko man tamit bëgg naa tamit mu recevoir ma teral ko ma xam ne ni Sam Fall bu yëkkati drapeau 52 pays jox ma ko kon lii nekk na loo xam ne lu wéeri si man nekk na si man loo xam ne archive boo xam ne ni dootul fekk ba iyaa wu jini
ñëw kenn ñëw kenn
te roi des arènes bu taxaw ni roi des arènes boobu ñëw naa ko si benn côté si benn côté ñëwuñu ko ampleur bu taxawee ampleur bu taxawee ampleur yu nii presque arène bu taxawee ñu ko ñor kan ma dem ne 52 pays sant yàlla quoi comme gaa yi créé à part roi des arènes gaa yi créé man damay créé bu gaa yi créé ñu créé kon sant yàlla bu gaa yi nekk sama drapeau war sama archive war sama ampleur mu dama ne drapeau 52 pays Amérique États-Unis Sam Fall sa domaine la Yawou Diaal barke sëñ Bamba barke sëñ Bamba barke sëñ Bamba
Yawou daal mi ngi sol casque bi That's good. Damn. What's up? Sam, where did you get that from?
This mask here.
Yeah.
So I bought this from Oaxaca, Mexico. Oaxaca is in the southernmost part of Mexico, and they have some great lucha libre fighters there.
That's their style, right?
Yeah, I have two young sons, Leon and Desmond, and they love lucha libre. They love catch wrestling.
Okay.
So we went to Mexico and saw the fights. And when I saw this mask, I said, "Oh, that one's for Yao."
You know that you're about to make a fashion here.
Yeah, the mask. There's an interesting history about the mask. There was a guy named Cyclone McKee. He was an Irish American. He went to Mexico to wrestle, and he got tired of the crowd rooting against him because he was a foreigner. So he had somebody make a mask for him because he wanted people to appreciate his wrestling skills,
Not his.
and not worry about the color of his skin or what he looked like.
Okay.
So that was like 100 years ago.
Okay.
In the 1920s.
Okay.
And so now 100 years later, the mask is like a symbol of lucha libre.
Okay.
And so I thought, oh man, it makes good sense to bring the mask to Africa because Africans understand that when you put on that mask, people have to look at your spirit instead of your face.
Appearance.
Exactly.
That's the good thing. So then, let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
Who is Samfal?
Samfal. I chose the name Samfal because I see when the Tijans and the Murids, when they chant to God, people get so happy. They get ecstasy and bliss. They forget all their problems. They forget their worries. They forget their bills. They forget that they're sick. And so that was what I was hoping to give to the Senegalese people when they see me wrestling, that they would smile and laugh and forget their problems for a little while. So that's why I chose that nom de guerre, Samfal.
Can you remember your first time in Senegal?
First came in 2019, and I came with a medical mission, International Medical Relief, and that's where I met Mamadou Nyan and Bamba Ndoye, Samba J, Jean-Pierre Kumba Diop, Aliou Jam. They were our guides and our translators for that. And so we were offering free medical care to the Talibé boys in the community. And so having kids of my own, it really made an impression on me to see how many kids were here that might not have parents or anybody to take care of them.
True.
So that really inspired me to start my own nonprofit NGO.
So you are in an NGO, right?
Yeah, so in 2020, I established Unity Through Arts and Culture. And it was
Repeat. Unity?
Unity Through Arts and Culture.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got incorporated the same time that COVID shut everything down.
Yes.
So it was perfect timing. We were able to help out. We've done work in the States, Mexico, Brazil, Central Asia, and especially here in Senegal.
Can you tell us where you're from?
So I grew up in Wyoming, which is in the Rocky Mountains in western states of the United States.
How can you make the patch between Wyoming and West Africa?
I think I must have lived here in another lifetime.
Really?
The first time I came here, I just put my head on the ground and cried. I was so happy to be in Mama Africa, But I identified wrestling as something that could connect us. Because even if the language and the religion and everything is so different, where I'm from, all the boys wrestle, just like here.
Yeah.
Every boy, every man knows how to wrestle. And so I identified that as something that could bring us together, that everybody would enjoy, that everyone would appreciate. And I hope to continue. We're hoping to bring this brother.
That makes us to get into the subject. Why you decided to have a wrestling game with Yawou? How come you did that?
So last year I came and we put in a couple wells. We planted some trees.
Really? Wells? Excuse me, I'm cutting you, but you digging wells here?
Yeah, we're establishing some wells. So we've built a couple in Dar es Salaam, in Belingara, And so water is life. So we want to do something that will be lasting. You know, make people's lives easier.
You're a good heart.
Thank you, man. But you know, it was really obvious to me that there's so much need. You know, we would help one school, and I realized there are hundreds or thousands of schools that also need help. So we went to Tuba and visited the mausoleum of Sheikh Amadou Bamba Mbake.
Really?
And I prayed there. I said, God, give us a way to amplify our impact in Senegal, to help more people out. And so after we made that ziyarah, after we visited Bamba, and we came to the fights, we saw Modulo Boynan. And I met this guy in the stands. He jumped over and we were arm wrestling. We were arm wrestling and praying for the crowd, and we had immediate rapport. So I said, Yawou, let's do something great for Senegal. Let's put on a show, man. Let's have a wrestling match, and hopefully that'll bring more attention to the Taliban boys, to the old people, the women, everybody that can use help, can use a leg up. And so we're using wrestling for a greater goal, which is to help the community, fresh water, clean food, access to medicine, access to education. And so that's what we're wrestling for. We're wrestling for peace.
So sport is a common language all over the world.
Exactly, brother.
Yeah, exactly. You give him gift. How come? What is the symbol behind the American flag you gave him and the belt you gave him? What is the?
You know, this American flag. It doesn't belong to the government. It doesn't belong to the politicians. It doesn't belong to the military. It belongs to the people of the United States.
Of America.
And the people of the United States are African, indigenous, Asian, white. What's beautiful about America is that we have all nations and tribes. And I know that here wrestling, before it had anything to do with money, it was all about the drapeau. It was all about the flag. And honoring your people, honoring the place that you came from. So I wanted to give this brother a drapeau American.
And what about the belt?
So this belt was made by my medicine man, my marabout. His name is Lucas Moccasin Gladu. He lives in Rocky Boy, Montana.
Now repeat. I don't understand what you said.
Okay. So this
explain it in detail.
Yeah. So this was made by my medicine man.
Your medicine man. So you have a medicine.
I have a medicine man, my marabout.
Yep.
His name is Lucas Moccasin Gladu.
All right.
And he lives in Montana.
Okay.
And he's from the Cree Nation. It's one of the biggest indigenous tribes in North America. Yeah.
Okay.
And so when I showed my marabout, this guy, he said, "Oh, he's a sacred clown."
Yeah.
Because in indigenous culture, they identify there's certain people that have a spiritual power to make people laugh.
Laugh, yes.
When life is hard.
Yes.
So he told me, you know, his grandfather told him, if we're not laughing, we're dying.
We're dying. We're stressing.
Yeah. So you gotta laugh. The harder life gets, the more we have to smile. The more.
So he made that belt for you.
He made this belt for Yawou.
Oh, really?
He said, whether you win or whether you lose, you give him the belt to Yawou because he's a holy man. He's a holy clown.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
What's his name? Lucas?
Lucas Moccasin Gladu.
Lucas Marcus Ingladu?
Yeah.
Yes. So let's get into the subject again. How come you gave him again that rope? What that rope means?
So this jump rope is from Buddy Lee. He's one of my sponsors. He was an Olympic wrestler. And he's a great man. And I contacted him telling him I was coming here for Wrestling for Peace. And he told me, you know, if he told me if he had $1 billion, he wouldn't give people money. He would give people jump ropes.
Okay.
Because when you work with the jump rope, when you start, it's difficult. But if you're consistent and persistent, the more you work with it, the easier it gets, the better you become.
Yeah.
So he said it's about internal resources.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't ask outside of yourself. It's not outside. It's an inside job.
Yeah.
So once you realize that all of the wealth, all of the resources are within us, that's really empowering. And so that's why I wanted to give it to him. And you know you can access it anywhere.
Yep.
Yeah, you can walk outside your door, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and you're good, you know.
And you good.
Wrestling for Peace. So,
Wrestling for Peace, yes.
There's another Olympian, Daniel Russell. He has an organization called Wrestling for Peace. And so, you know, we see all this warfare in the world, all this devastation, and sometimes we wonder, what can we do? We might feel helpless to change things. But what Daniel Russell is doing, he goes all over. He goes to Russia, Mongolia, Iran, Turkey, and he uses wrestling as a way to bridge those boundaries. And really, every tribe and nation wrestles. Wrestling is in the Bible. You know, there's a story about Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that he converted a wrestler because the wrestler said, well, "Can you prove to me that Allah exists?" And Muhammad threw him 3 times. He beat Rukana, and so the guy said, "Okay, la ilaha illallah." You know. Yeah. So every tribe and nation wrestles, and wrestling is a family. And there's some things, you know, that you can't take, you can only give them. And one of those things is respect. And so, you know, when you wrestle somebody, when you lock up, you can tell what kind of heart they have. You can tell what kind of strength they have. And so I have so much respect for this guy. And what I'm hoping to do in the future is to bring guys from Senegal to the States. We have a couple great teams, Genesis in Denver, and Nobody's Villains in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And we'd love to bring lamb wrestlers to study MMA. And also I want to bring young wrestlers from the States here to Senegal.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
That would be
So
wonderful.
we're hoping to do cultural exchange, and this is just the beginning, inshallah.
Inshallah. Your last words, who you want to greet, who you want to shout out, who you want to thank.
Okay, I want to thank Senegal, Yalla Jam Yage.
Inshallah.
And the CNG, Following Jai, all my friends here that have helped out. My wife, Lauren Salazar, for allowing me to come here and do this. I'm missing out Christmas. My kids, Kalila, Razaya, Zenaida, Leon, Desmond. I love you guys. I'll see you soon. And all my people in New Mexico, Wyoming, Colorado, Rocky Mountains, we did it. So, yeah.
Your sponsors?
Unity to Arts and Culture, Wrestling for Peace, Buddy Lee Jump Ropes, Guya Transport, Original. Yeah, Mama Africa, I love you so much. Respect, taking the body
Hope to
back.
see you again, inshallah.
Inshallah, my brother.
May God bless you.
Ameen.
All right, and see you soon.
Okay, my friend.
All right. I like you.
Malikum président de CNG.
That's nice. That's really, really nice. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yeah, Jaja Fai. Yalla Fai, Jaya, bro. Sam, thanks a lot.
Thank you, man.
Yalla Fai.
Okay, my brother.
So let's keep in touch, right?
Of course, man.
All right. Thanks. Okay, kon bokku CNG mi ngi nonu dinañ ko jéem a traduire niñ ko mëne mais jàppale ni rek Sam moom borom mbir la quoi wax dëgg yàlla Yawou it borom mbir la waaw yal na seen jàmm yàgg ñu ngi leen di ñaanal jàpp Yawou loo wax suñu chaîne bi.
Non, seen bi moom dama bëgg seen liggéey la.
yéen
rawatina nag Sénégal. ndax képp kuy dund sport rek. war nga bàyyi xel ci CNG TV. man de dëgg saa dama koy ñaan yàlla mu yokk télé si.
incha allah
affaire bi moom gën a yaatu.
da ngay abonné.
bu doon sama sago sax man mu ngi dund liggéey bi.
incha allah loolu moom dina baax incha allah.
bëgg affaire bi yaatu quoi.
waaw baax na
dina am tax ñu ñëw si làmb jeeg ak yenn yoo xam ne
baax na yaa.
comprendre nga.
yaa wax de.
comme Seydina Mohamed sallallahu alayhi wa sallam fu mu àgg. yàlla na fa CNG TV àgg.
incha allah
Seydina Mohamed sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
jërëjëf
ci barke sëñ Baba.